You've probably heard of it, right? The book and film that just kind of swept the globe, promising this powerful, life-changing idea that was hidden in plain sight. Today, we're going to break down that whole phenomenon, The Secret by Rhonda Byrne. All right, let's get into it. So let's start with the big question, the one that's at the very heart of this whole thing. Can the stuff you think about, the feelings you have on the inside, can they actually change the world around you? Well, according to this book from 2006, which was a massive bestseller, the answer is a huge, resounding yes. And it argues this isn't just some self-help trick. It's a fundamental law of the universe. So, how is that supposed to work? It all comes down to one single idea, the engine that drives everything else in the book. And that is the law of attraction. So let's get a really clear handle on what that actually means. Okay, so here's the gist. The theory says that your dominant thoughts act like magnets. They pull experiences, people, and things into your life that are on the same frequency as those thoughts. And it's presented as a principle that's just as real as gravity. The logic they present is incredibly direct. The idea is that your focus creates this constant feedback loop. So if you're consistently thinking about success and happiness, you're going to attract more of that. But, and this is a big but, the reverse is also said to be true. If you're always dwelling on debt or failure, you'll supposedly just draw more of that to you. And here's where the metaphor gets really interesting. The book describes your thoughts as literal signals, almost like a radio station broadcasting a specific frequency out into the cosmos. In this view, the universe isn't judging you. It's just a giant mirror reflecting back a reality that perfectly matches whatever signal you're sending out. All right, so that's the what. That's the theory, but how do you actually do it? I mean, what are the practical steps? Well, The Secret lays out a very specific 3-step process for putting it all into practice. And here they are. Ask, believe, receive. First, you have to get super clear on what you want and, ask for it. Then comes the really tricky part. You have to believe, with zero doubt, that it's already on its way to you. And finally, you have to feel the feeling of already having it. That emotional state of receiving is apparently the key that makes the whole thing work. Now, to help you with those believe and receive steps, the book really pushes 2 key tools. First is visualization, creating a super detailed movie in your head where you've already succeeded, like actually feeling the steering wheel of that new car. And the other is gratitude. The idea is that by focusing on what you're thankful for right now, you raise your positive frequency and attract even more good stuff. Okay, so as you can probably guess, this whole philosophy created a ton of debate. I mean, while it was super inspiring for millions, it also got some pretty heavy criticism. So let's pivot for a minute and take a more critical look at these ideas. And this is the question that comes up all the time. In a world with, real inequality, random chance, and genuine hardship, can everything really just be boiled down to our thoughts? So here are the main counter-arguments you hear. First, critics say it totally ignores the real-world barriers and systemic issues that people face. Another huge point of contention is that it seems to downplay the need for, hard work and taking action, almost like you can just wish your way to success. And finally, from a scientific view, there's just no proof that the law of attraction is a universal physical law in the same way gravity is. So with all that said, let's put the criticisms aside for a moment. What was the core message that resonated with so many millions of people? It really boils down to this powerful idea of personal agency. This right here, this is the ultimate takeaway from The Secret. If you strip away all the cosmic stuff, the central, empowering message is that you are not just a passive victim of your circumstances, you are the architect of your own life, mainly through the power of your focus and your mindset. And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to think about. Whether you believe your thoughts literally shape reality or not, you can't really deny the impact of your mindset. So maybe the real question is this: where do we find the balance between a powerful positive mindset and the practical, real-world action we need to take? What, at the end of the day, is the true power of positive thinking?